Yeah, so those are some examples. They didn't really go into other details as far as the other aspects of this particular attraction. But they did talk about those two particular areas. But you can imagine and extrapolate the other things are going to be exactly the same way. They'll have a character for computer animation. Maybe like one of the Pixar people, I'm sure. Maybe like I'm sure it's a Toy Story since we're getting a Toy Story 10,000. At this point, whenever you're listening to the show, this will be Toy Story 10,000.
Gosh, howdy everybody, this is your old pal Goofy, and I'm hanging today with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel, and they're funny people. Have a great one.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
This is a show where every opinion is welcome and nothing we present is groundbreaking or terribly exciting. It's just some filler for your life if you need it. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. On this episode, we discuss the recent announcement of the Magic of Disney animation coming to Hollywood studios in Walt Disney World in summer 2026. And look, this isn't your typical polish, practice, pixie dust, and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in Walt Disney World every day letting you know that another fire broke out near the France Pavilion in Epcot this past week.
What is going on over there?
I don't know. Somebody doesn't like France. Yes, the French.
Say.
We don't care. It's life. It's just life. Fire is life.
Fire's life.
Fire is life.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is water.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and see what magic is in store for Disney's new Magic of Disney animation show.
And yes, you listeners have the easy part. All you guys and girls have to do is to listen up to what we think up while we drink up.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And Rachel is out today. She's currently on the roll. But look, if you are thinking about visiting a major theme park in the near future, like Universal or Disney, Rachel can definitely help you book that. And booking with Rachel is one of the easiest ways to support this show. Also, you can leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. Also, we want to thank our Patreon supporters, both past and present, for all they have done and continue to do for us. And before we get into it, I just want to say happy birthday to Roger E. Brogy and Walter E. Disney. Does anybody have any idea what I'm talking about?
Not Walt's birthday.
No, it's not Walt's birthday.
It was the launch of a ride or park.
No, not necessarily. Roger E. Brogy and the Walter E. Disney.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that like, it's got to be a
Keep
transportation.
going. You got it. Keep going.
Is it the railroad cars?
Yes. Well, the trains, the steam trains specifically, they marked their 100th birthdays this year.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
They originally built, those two that are running around Walt Disney World, they originally built in 1925. And they spent years in service, doing their normal train things before Walt, with his obsession with trains, as you know, bought them up and restored them, put them in his parks, and they're still running to this day. And they are 100 years old.
Wow.
But I just wanted to shout them out because, that's pretty awesome. I know Kirk wanted to do a show on the trains. He has a specific affinity for those trains as well.
Okay.
So maybe one day in 2026, we'll get to that, his idea for a show for that.
Well, you better hurry up before Keith beats him to it.
I know.
The race is on.
Yep. Whoever comes to us first, you're doing it.
All right, y'all. Look, so enough of our jibber jabber. Let's learn more about the magic of Disney animation. Welcome to The Q, the segment in which we discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. And the big story for this episode that was announced earlier in December 2025 is the magic of Disney animation. Imagine this. You walk into Walt Disney Animation Studios, except you're not in Burbank. You're in Disney's Hollywood Studios, and the characters have taken over. Portraits wink at Eli.
Of course.
Storyboards ripple, and the magic of drawing leaps off the page.
Have I consumed any substances prior to entering said
That's a good start of vacation. There you go.
I think if you did, either way it would happen. Just one will be just more engaging than the other.
The other
I guess.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
I'm with that.
So there's nothing wrong with me. This is supposed to be happening.
This is supposed to be happening. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or it could be. I'm not going to judge. You know, you walk in said place with said highness. Go for it.
Magic Our Way does not recommend you walking into any
no,
of
we
these-
don't.
Saying hi.
Yes.
Pie.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, in late summer 2026, that's exactly what Disney promises with the magic of Disney animation. Not that you'll get high, but you'll experience all these different things happening, like storyboards rippling, magic of Disney drawing, leaping off the page. It's a whole new family experience inspired by the Emmy-winning short that is currently found on Disney Plus, Once Upon a Studio. Y'all seen that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when it came out, very, very cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool how they had that little Robin Williams character in there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciated that very
I did
much.
too.
I used to love that.
Mm-hmm.
And look, in this episode, we'll unpack everything Disney has announced, the building design with the return of the Sorcerer Hat, the interactive off-the-page meet and greets featuring real animation departments, the Drawn to Wonderland playground for little artists, and how the larger animation courtyard will be reimagined as the Walt Disney Studios. Also, we'll attempt to connect the dots to current and upcoming shows like The Little Mermaid, a musical venture which was just reopened again, and the upcoming Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse live show, which will be coming down the pipe very soon. Because these things are already happening before the whole animation courtyard thing takes place. So I'll be curious to see how that fits into the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's start at the top.
Okay.
So what is the magic of Disney animation? Disney's announcement on the Disney Parks blog on December 3rd, 2025, frames this as stepping into a building reminiscent of the Roy E. Disney Animation Building in Burbank, complete with a sorcerer hat on the roof, which, of course, as you can tell, is a nostalgic nod with some purpose, right?
Mhm.
Inside, the conceit is delightful. The animators have stepped away, and the characters from classics to modern favorites are playing in the studio. And the experience is deliberately hand-on. Like, for instance, in Once Upon a Studio, living portraits, like I mentioned in the beginning, will come alive and interact with the environment and maybe even join in on the drawing activities found at the drawing stations where guests can sketch to their heart's content.
So, like, what, the Living Character Initiative kind of thing?
I guess, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that works, because at some point later, they mention the tie when we talk about the ties to the Little Mermaid, where they use kind of like projection mapping and kind of how they match the imagery on the screen to somebody's face.
Okay.
That kind of stuff, that kind of technology. How they said they're going to do kind of the same thing here.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure what magic that is.
It's gonna be like one of those weird AI filters, like when they make you a drawing or something. You
Yeah, like augmented reality. That's the word. Yeah, augmented reality
That's
kind of
what I
stuff.
was wondering.
Which I was wondering how they're going to do that. So it made me think, it's like technology. Are we going to have to be wearing glasses or something? I don't know. Or like Mario ride type glasses.
I would hope not.
Yeah,
I would hope that too.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be a screen or something else, like a mirror or something that you look at, and that gives you the projected image.
Because if you're being counted on the draw, it's going to be hard to draw with big old goggles.
Yeah, that would kind of suck.
Yeah, that's very true.
But look, anyway, Disney describes this as a playful department-themed exploration. You're not just looking at it, the animation that is, you're inside of it. I know, right? Yeah, it's very sexy.
Yeah.
But look, I did a lot of research through various media outlets, and I kind of summarized in this. A lot of the outlets are covering the announcement, highlight that this is a return to roots for Hollywood studios, suggesting that it echoes the spirit of the original magic of Disney animation that opened with the park in 1989, which then evolved through the 2000 close in 2015 to make way for Star Wars Launch Bay. Do y'all remember that? Yes.
Fondly.
Yeah, I used to remember that too. Because here's the thing. They say the 2026 version is not a museum, which of course, they say that with the Disney parks. It's not a museum.
Yeah.
It's but this is specifically is going to be a playful walk. And this is the thing that takes me back to 1989. They say it's a playful walkthrough with tech-forward surprises and built for family pacing, which is interesting. So it reminds me of 89 where you did walk through.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can see all the different things. You can see an animator animating. You can see people we're looking at people at work.
Yeah.
It's like a fishbowl.
They were producing movies
Yeah, storyboards.
Right.
Yeah. It was like going in it was like an artist zoo. That's kind of I remember. Like they all be like, you're looking at someone like a glass cage just sunched over, just And that was always surreal.
Every once in a while they'd look up and wave at you and go back to
Throw a
drawing
pencil
again.
at you.
Yeah.
I remember being fascinated going through there.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I absolutely
Yeah.
loved it. It was a bummer when I went back and it was already gone.
Same.
Yeah, because it was the whole thing was that it was a working studio,
Yeah.
and we mentioned this on the show before. And if you haven't looked into the history of Disney MGM Studios, please do, because that's how it started. But it was cool because we're basically looking at people's office spaces.
Yeah.
It's like if you had an office with one of your walls being glass, somebody was looking to see what you're doing, so you couldn't be Amazon shopping while you're on the clock.
No.
Which is probably, it was funny because it's probably why there were people were not at their desk often. They're probably off doing whatever so they're not in the view of people doing stuff. But I remember Mulan being made. I remember seeing the multi-plane camera demonstration kind of thing that they had.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You had the video that was really kind of explaining each step of the process to you along the way. It was a really magical behind the scenes look that was inspirational. If you were a young kid or even an older kid, or a young adult, even like, wow, I could do this. It kind of stripped away all this. Hey, it's all magic and not hard work that happens here. It's just you wave a wand and boom,
Art.
magic happens. Yeah, art. Like, no, they kind of stripped it away a little bit, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we'll get more into it as we get into the different pieces of it, but it feels like they got rid of the glass for this new concept.
Okay.
So now that you're, for the sake of speaking, for what we're talking about, you're in the offices now, seeing all the stuff happen.
It sounds like they didn't just get rid of the glass, though. They got rid of the animators.
They did that too. Yeah, there's that part.
We need them.
They're all on break. They're all on break or furloughed. I don't know.
Furloughed. That strike was tough.
Yeah. Yes, it was very rough. It was very rough.
I mean, for an attraction called the Magic of Disney Animation, the magic of Disney Animation isn't the characters; it's the creators.
Agreed.
Yes.
Totally
This is
agree
it.
with that.
Would anyone tune into the Food Network if all they did was show images of food instead of focusing on the craft and the artistry of the chefs who created it?
You'd be missing a good piece of it. Yeah.
That's the thing. It would be like going to eat sushi at Nobu and saying, "Oh, the magic of Nobu is the fish." Well, no, it's the chefs that take a hunk of tuna and turn it into something truly delectable and delightful. And so when you lose the animators and the people who, when they've all left for the day, and it's basically the characters are coming to life, this reeks of kidifying on a level that, I'm going to judge this a little bit more harshly because one, I had a real fondness for the original show, Disney, the Magic of Disney Animation show, and two, I mean, seeing that they could have built Monsters Inc. here, but they chose to build it where Muppet Vision 3D is. And so we lost Muppet Vision 3D to find out we're getting a dumbed down version is what it seems like. It sounds like just a character meet and greet opportunity is really what it's coming down to with some, flashy tech, no doubt about it. That's great, I suppose. And I'll reserve full judgment until we actually experience it because you don't know. Hopefully they do a really good job. But generally, when there's a character in the room, all other activities are beyond secondary.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone's lining up to see Rapunzel or, Mulan or whoever the heck else. Although I do think it's fun. And I think you mentioned Mulan being there.
Yeah. That's for one of the first things I remember.
Seeing that they animated that movie there, I think it's great that they chose her as a character to be in there. That's really cool. But I don't know, man. It's just like rolling out characters is not the only way to get kids excited about Disney animation, and let's face it, by the time the kids turn, 8 years old, they already know that's not Mickey and Minnie.
Well, there's more resources out now where they can figure out how it's done and not want to rely on such an attraction like that.
Well, but it's like, you're basically, they know the characters they're meeting aren't real. They know these are people dressed up. This isn't all real. And I think that you kind of lose something when you decide primarily just appeal to young children between the ages of before 2, they're scared of the characters. Right. And around 7, that's when they're realizing this is all BS, but I'll go along with it because it's cool. I'm spitball, maybe 8, maybe 9. I don't know, depending on your kid.
So around there. Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah.
But you could take kids 9 to 10, preteens, young adults, teenagers themselves, and really kind of do something where you pay homage to the true geniuses that created the movies and the characters that we all love and appreciate today, while also being a source of inspiration, as the original was, for parkgoers who may one day become creatives themselves.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, one of the things I looked at when I read this was like, man, younger creative me before, I lost hope and stuff, would have loved something like this from like the old school way where you saw animators do it, because you could kind of look and you kind of get an idea of them drawing a circle with the kind of line from the spine. And in art schools, they don't really teach you a certain style of drawing. So this is really the closest that you would get to seeing a Disney animated style piece of work. And yeah, I think it would have been a lot more essential to have the animators there. I was thinking of it more like a meet and greet with the animators, because like you said, once you get older and you want to know how to do this and learn how to, make the magic yourself, it would be good to talk to a person who says, oh yeah, these are the tools we use. This is the, software we use. And then that way you can kind of have a foundation to keep moving forward with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's the piece that's missing. First of all, from a business standpoint, they don't have to pay benefits to any of the actors that are in there or anything else. So they're saving money that way. I hate to bring that up, but that's exactly what it feels like to me when I heard this.
I hear that.
But the second thing to your point, Eli, it's like, yeah, it's the human element of watching somebody do it.
Mm-hmm.
You see another human do it, which means you have hope, or there's a chance for you to be able to do the same thing.
That's exactly it.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, and so that's and as you get older, that human transcends your different ages, and then at some point you can actually have a good conversation with them. When you're younger, you start with the whole circle thing, and you see the guy do the circle, and then the little lines to do the face, and then at some point you can get into more in-depth discussions, which you can only achieve by a human that change as quickly. Mm-hmm. Whereas like maybe a static type of exhibition, you'd have to reprogram and make sure you can address different populations and whatnot. So,
yeah, well, like when you have like an AI or something that does that kind of work, you ever notice like you'll watch them on TV, they'll draw something really quick. Now, of course, there's nobody there. They're like, wait, I wanted to see how that looked. Like you get the finished product and it looks awesome, but you're like, how did it get there? Like that was
too fast.
Yeah, it was too fast.
Yeah,
like,
show me what you're doing.
Show me what you're doing.
And that's what I mean when I say I think they kind of like they're appealing to young children, and it's a very, very small audience that they could be appealing to. But older kids who are starting to get into the making their own art and getting their own ideas about what they want to do in life. Like you said before about having the real animators and I don't expect them to have real animators and creators chained to their desks, like giving us the tour and everything like that. I totally don't expect that to happen.
Talk more.
But I would love to see like if they did like little presentations going from place to place about, how stories are developed.
Totally.
Show how storyboards demonstrating scenes and storylines are laid out, and how these scenes were originally designed to be a part of the movie, but we ultimately abandoned them as the story evolved. Kind of just to demonstrate to kids like, yeah, not all of our ideas make it, so kids understand that, good ideas and bad ideas, they come from the same place. That way when kids are doubting themselves like, oh, I thought it was good, but my idea sucks. It's like, no, we all come up with ideas that good ideas and bad ideas are birthed out of the same mind.
Truth.
All the time. And show them how these stories are developed in the wrong turns that you take along the way. And then you go maybe to another room, show how the characters are created. Let them see different character sketches of how their favorite characters could have looked before they settle on the final design.
Oh, yeah, the model sheets, various ones. That makes sense.
Yeah, you see that when you go to Disney's Art of Animation Resort, you'll see and I bet you most kids don't know though that's a earlier concept art for the Sea Witch from The Little Mermaid or something like that. Even if you gave them like concept designs and whatnot, where you showed like real world locations like Monument Valley and stuff like that, and how that influenced the look of cars. The kind of stuff that you see in the Art of Disney books, like you get the Art of Moana, the Art of Coco, the Art of Onward, or something like that. All of which I like to collect because I love seeing.
They're great books.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
They're really great books.
And if you're an artist, I mean, that's really, really cool. But voiceover artists.
Oh my God! I love that. Yeah,
showcase all the different voiceover artists over the years who have brought various different performances to life. I mean, can you imagine featurettes on Thurl Ravenscroft and Paul Frees, where they go through all the different characters that they voiced in movies and TV shows and in the parks and everything like. I mean, I've been in NostalgiaCon and Fan Expo and Comic-Con, and kids line up in costume to meet their favorite voiceover artist. They know it's not real, but they appreciate the work this person puts in, and they want to do what these people do.
I didn't even know that was a thing until you told me about that con. Like, that's crazy. I mean, it's cool, but it's like, wow.
You could even do music, soundtracks, show different composers, how they come up with Like, each, you can take them along the step. I'm like, okay, this is how we do this. This is where we go with that and everything like that. Get them inspired about the idea of, oh, wait a minute. I think, okay, so I could do that. And that's, I think, what you want to do ultimately, instead of just like, and here's Moana.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's a great point, Daddy, because there's so many facets to more than just the visual artistry that happens with all of this. And that's very important. But yeah, the voiceover acting, it's the performance art. That's the
so many different artists.
Yeah, I mean, we got 2 visual artists on this show. I'm the performance artist, but we're all combined to make that thing. And I can't tell you the number of times I've seen videos of like old Disney animation artists where they have a mirror next to their desk and they're making the faces of the characters they're trying to draw just to kind of get that what they're supposed to look like.
Totally.
So they're performing it, and then there's like, okay, I got to make the character do this.
And the first time I remember seeing that as a kid, I would watch them animate themselves, or even like they would bring in a dancer and they would animate and it's like, oh, wow. So, okay, because I just figured like, oh my God, these guys are just uber talented. I can't ever do that. And it's like, no, look, they need to look for like, they're not just making this crap up out of their head. They're looking at real visual
visual references.
Yeah,
the whole mythology.
I mean, you think of the animals and stuff they've been using and whatnot, lions and tigers, all that kind of stuff.
They did Bambi, boom. They bring in deers. Here's some deers. Have some fun. Draw them.
Check it out.
Different ways.
See how you like it.
Yeah.
I was also going to say too, in addition, like you said, the lighting, like I was reading that they were going to have stuff with like, 3D and stuff like that. I mean, and that's another thing that I didn't get a chance to really experience when I was in college yet, because it was just coming out.
It was just new, yeah.
And I was like, what is that? I know what that is. And then like, boom, it like...
Not to say that we're old.
No, of course not.
But, we're well seasoned to where that was young.
I remember Toy Story came out when I was in college because I had like some 3D.
It was a mind blow.
That was big.
And that blew their minds. And they were talking about, the 3D mapping. And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I need a beer. Like, But I would think as well, there's a lot that could be done with this. What do you call this? An attraction? What would you call this? An exhibition?
It would be listed under attractions in the guide maps for sure. Okay. It is something. But
it's mainly
it's like an expo.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure how to really put that, but it does have like that convention, kind of style or feel if they wanted to give it that.
Well, and that's the thing. One of the things I'm going to talk about when we talk about the building design and courtyard reimagining is that it's a campus style feel that they're going for. Kind of like what they had in Burbank, where there's a bunch of different buildings doing a bunch of different things.
And I like that. I like that's what they're going for. I like the fact that, they're bringing back the Sorcerer hat on the building. It's just like, okay, I have a feeling that when I walk in there, when you're using meet and greets and you're using playgrounds, this is not going to be something all that serious.
Yes,
that's a concern of mine as well. Yeah,
I'm not saying this needs to be taken 100% seriously. You can have some fun and do some whimsy and everything like that. But if this is just your standard, okay, guys, all right, everyone grab the pencils, make a circle, that's not what we're looking for. I mean, we're looking for something that can appeal to people of all ages and really kind of inspire the next. I mean, young children and even, like I said, young adults, they could see the different roles that they could one day fulfill as a script writer, as an animator, as a concept artist, a storyboard artist, a voiceover artist, whatever it is that they want. They can see what that role is and be like, oh my God, okay, so I wouldn't be responsible for all of this. I would just, if I could just focus my attention on doing this, I would be, and they could even switch it out. Like for a year, they could just focus on, okay, we're doing Toy Story. We're gonna take the film Toy Story. We're gonna go over the voiceover artists that help brought the characters to life, different concepts for the characters, the layouts that we use, everything like that, and just focus on that. And then boom, a year later, okay, now we're doing Moana, and here's how we brought that to life. And you could do that year by year, change and give people different input into how, or not input, but different
perspective.
Perspective into how each of these movies are designed and creative. I remember like when I would get and I still have my Disney DVDs because I would love.
Those are great.
Yeah. The behind the scenes featurettes oftentimes were like over an hour and something long. And in many cases were more interesting and fascinating than the movie themselves.
Yes.
And that's a high bar to clear, but just to see how they brought this all to life, hear all the ideas that didn't make it, how they came up with the idea of using Tom Hanks as the voice or something like whatever it was, like getting the behind the scenes look into your favorite films. That was really cool. I like that because I like the idea of seeing how the sausage is made. Because
all of the sausage, though,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, because one thing I was going to jump off of what you were saying, I think that's I mean, you remember that Monster Sound Show
Yes.
where they did all the Foley artists and the sound effects stuff?
Yes.
You could do the exact same thing, same kind of show presentation with like voiceover artistry. And how you say a particular line, you could say it 10 million different ways and it could be meaning something. But to have like people in the audience do it and then all of a sudden you see the playback on the screen.
Yes.
This is you saying it, much like with Monster Sound Show. They do the effects regardless of how bad or how good it was. If they play the movie back with your sound effects. And it was great. It was a great experience. It was hilarious. And you learned something.
Yes.
I mean, I remember Monster Sound Show because that was one of the things where it's like, I got an up close personal look at like, oh, this is Foley artistry. This is it right here. This is part of the sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd find out something and you go home and you'd look it up and you'd find some of your favorite, like you didn't even know these guys were your favorite artists that did this, but it's like, oh man, okay, so that's so-and-so. What else did he do? And you kind of go down a rabbit hole and you look up names and you learn to admire different artists, maybe even copy techniques and whatnot, like
or life patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It inspires you to learn more.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I mean. It's like, so instead of now we're appealing to ages, 2 to 8 as opposed to 8 to 21,
Yeah.
and even maybe even beyond where people who are in college are like, I went into business, but I really, because I'm afraid to be, but I really want to do art. And then they show up to this thing one day and they're like, I think I could do that.
Oh, you could be like an older person and you've gone past everything else and you're like, hey, now I have the time to go and do this. And I was thinking about like the software aspect. Like back in the day, like you get Photoshop, like that's it. Well, now there's so many different apps out there. There's really no true instruction on how to use something effectively, unless you're going to look at like YouTube. But having the presence of these different artists there, when maybe they don't sit there and they go, here's every single step in the software case. They might can tell you, hey, look, use this software with this, start using these different layers and give you techniques that, again, yeah, you have someone now to follow. You can like go ahead and get into the brand some more, but you got a little more extra inspiration for the technique. And that might also be one of those things where you say, hey, I'm not worried about the rides just yet, but hey, my favorite artist, they gave me some good advice on such and such. Maybe I can show him or her this thing I did on my phone because they inspired me. That's like, that could be that extra push that you wouldn't even see coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about y'all, but like a lot of times when you go to the Art of Disney stores, there'll be an artist there drawing. Usually that guy develops a little bit of a crowd. Not much, but I mean, there will be some kids in and around just staring at him drawing. Now, if you think about it, when we were young, that was an easy way for artists to make friends with one another. You'll be in class and all of a sudden you'd see one kid next to you drawing and you're like, he draws too? Yep. And then you're craning over a little bit more and more trying to see what it looked like. And like, oh man, he's pretty good. And you go to him after, like, hey man, like you draw, like what do you like? Like, and y'all would have a conversation, become friends.
Yep.
There might or might not be someone in this room like that. That's just that description.
No, Danny, you're exactly right. Because performance side of things, I was exactly like that as far as drumming goes. It's like I'd see maybe like an older student.
Yeah.
He plays some kind of lick, and I'm just like, wait, that sounded cool. How'd you do that? You know? And so he'd break it down and teach me how to do it. And then eventually, at some point, I got it. Took me a while, but at least I was able to have that resource to say, hey, and see him do it, and then ask how you did that. Boy, back up. Can you try slow it down a little bit? That kind of stuff.
That's stuff. Yeah.
Kids, they have a natural curiosity towards that. Kids, teenagers, my kid watches lots of YouTube creators and gets off on like, okay, this is how they animated that. This is how they brought that to life. I'm going to look into that. This is the program they use, so that's the program I'm going to use.
Yeah, sure.
You monkey see, monkey do kind of thing. You find your heroes. You emulate what they do, and then you kind of make it your own.
Yep.
That's how it works.
That's how we started this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Kevin Smith uses Libsyn. I'm using Libsyn too.
I take that too.
Let's do it.
I remember like bringing me back to a long time ago of happiness, but there was this video that Jim Lee's now he's a DC artist, but he used to be a Marvel artist just for correlation. And he had this way of making the poses dynamic. I used to watch that tape over and over and over. And that's a good foundation for how like I draw now, where they're wacky looking, but I use the same principles just from seeing that on the tape. And again, whenever this guy was at a convention, I went. I even fought my ex-wife at the time to go see this guy. That was a big deal. So like, art, it's real. It's real.
Yeah, having heroes that you follow. Like I remember writing, like my favorite caricature artist was Bruce Stark. I didn't even know who he was. I just kept seeing his art over and over and over again. And finally, when the internet came along, I Google searched him or something happened and I wrote him and he actually wrote me back. And I still have that. He's passed, but I still have that letter that he wrote me hanging on my wall in my bedroom. But that was what I asked him. How do you do this? He even did like a breakdown of how he does this, and this. And it was just like, I read that 100 times trying to glean something extra and add that to whatever it was I was doing at the time. And no, it's true artists. Man, they are fascinated by the process.
True.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. You want to learn how to create. You want to learn how to make your stuff better, because that's how you're going to go ahead and achieve true greatness as a creative. And that's what ultimately is your goal. Now, what I would love to see in stuff like this, and what I don't think we see enough of, is the screw ups. Because
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they done this
That's
perfect.
that's the best. Yeah, no.
What do you mean?
The screw ups and the mistakes and the
Yes.
errors,
Yes.
the constant just pounding and grinding until you get it right.
Right.
Toy Story
Yeah.
was just going to be about Woody, and Buzz was going to be an enemy, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, why not do a buddy movie here? And it's like genius, just a simple idea like that. Genius changed the whole thing, made a movie that could have been good or could have been okay, great stuff like that. Just where people, hey, it's okay to mess up. In fact, what do they say? You learn more from your failures than you do
Yeah.
from your successes.
Failure is the best teacher. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean,
yeah.
that's all forms of art for sure.
Very true.
So,
Jeez.
look, I'm gonna again. I will withhold judgment on this attraction. We can go through the
Yeah, we'll go through the elements and parts.
play by play in a second, but I mean, since we just kind of got into giving our overall thoughts on this,
No, absolutely.
in terms of attractions, this is like hoping for the next generation of kids out there for an iPad, and Disney delivered a VTech instead.
Oh God,
Right.
yes.
There's nothing wrong with a VTech, but man, an iPad appeals to so much broader of an age range and so much
A Surface.
more
I
that
feel that.
Yeah.
Get a Microsoft Surface.
Oh man.
So-
Be like Tom Brady and throw it across the field. So yeah, all right. So we got some of the elements as I mentioned before. The Sorcerer's Hat is coming back, although it's not the park's icon, but it'll be reminiscent of what you see in Burbank.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, we don't need the recreation.
No, we're good. We're good. But anyway, let's start to talk about the different pieces. First of all, we got Off the Page, and speaking to what you'd mentioned already, meet and greets across animation departments.
Yeah, this is where the hair in the back of my neck stood up.
Yes,
As
yeah.
soon as I saw that, I'm like, this is something disguised as something else.
Well, it's like seeing the end product without actually knowing what goes into it.
True.
Is what I got to feel. So look, Off the Page, not to be confused with the retail store in Disney California Adventure, which
Okay.
we've seen, which is not far from that other little immersive animation exhibit that we remember. You remember that in Disneyland?
Yeah.
That we went in? Yeah. So this one is more of a collaboration between Walt Disney Animation Studios and Imagineering, turning 6 studio departments into immersive character spaces. And here are the ones that Disney has named as departments being featured. And they list story, layout, hand-drawn animation, computer animation, and lighting and effects.
There's nothing wrong with any of those. Like I said, I think I would have included voiceover artists in that.
I agree with that,
I
yes.
think that would have been important.
Even music, shoot, the soundtrack
Definitely.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Music,
big in
sure.
Disney animation for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you get a little bit of all the different artistries that go into making something. I mean, music, but voiceover performance, the animation, the story, all of that, everybody having a different job, and it all has to work cohesively. That is something that needs to be brought through. So I like how they've broken it down. I take a little umbrage with some of the choices that they made there, but I mean, there again, like I think these are all just going to be themed rooms
Right.
for
Yeah.
an ultimate meet and greet with very little background.
Insight on
Yes.
what they're doing. I kind of agree with
And
that.
that's it does remind me of that old attraction because I remember the signs where it said what part of the animation
Yep.
process you're at.
Yep.
Yeah.
But outside of that, that's it. You
That's
know. So just to delve a little further in each of those little areas that I just mentioned. First of all, in story, you will meet Mulan beside an oversized storyboard panel, which, as they say, is perfect for photo ops that feel like you've stepped into the narrative planning phase.
Characters coming to life by themselves. Nobody
For a
Nobody
photo
saw
op.
that coming.
For-
nobody
photo op.
worked hard on that. Nobody perfected the look of that. It just
I was gonna say they're gonna have like a big like mock-up of like a drawing pad, and then she just walks right out of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Take pictures
Probably
right
so.
there.
Kind of like the Beauty and the Beast attraction, Magic Kingdom.
That's what I would
kind of
imagine
thing, you know?
that to be. You know,
In layout, you have Rapunzel appearing in a multi-plane camera-inspired environment.
okay. So yeah, you're using the multiplane as a photo op device.
Yep,
It
with
does-
layered backgrounds that you can click focus like classic films into your little picture in your phone.
I'm sure it'll be
Okay.
cool to see and everything, but I mean, really,
Yeah, what do you learn?
exactly. And how much does that really affect what they do today? Like, I'd really more rather. I mean, if you want to get into some of the history of it, that's fine, but they're not doing that. I mean, the multiplane camera has nothing to do with how they animate today.
Right.
Yeah, it's all computer generated.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, so those are some examples. They didn't really go into other details as far as the other aspects of this particular attraction. But they did talk about those two particular areas. But you can imagine and extrapolate the other things are going to be exactly the same way. They'll have a character for computer animation. Maybe like one of the Pixar people, I'm sure. Maybe like I'm sure it's a Toy Story
As
since we're getting
Buzz.
a Toy Story
Yeah.
10,000. At this point, whenever you're listening to the show, this will be Toy Story 10,000. Dan Abram, the co-director of Once Upon a Studio, suggested that seeing the history and process while meeting characters, and this is something akin to what we just mentioned, he says that seeing the history and process while meeting characters might inspire a future generation of artists.
And from his lips to
God's ears.
God's ears. Yeah, exactly. That sounds great. I hope that he's 1,000% right. And this is one of those things where we talk about this kind of stuff, and you just want to be wrong. You want to believe that it doesn't sound like what it sounds like.
Yeah. The choice of words. I mean, the writing is an art in itself.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
That's something that doesn't get spoken about. They talk about the drawings and stuff, but what they say is just as important, and
Yeah.
how they say it.
Mm-hmm.
That which leads to it's just there's a whole world that they could have done.
Sure.
Anyway, whatever. But let's get to the next piece, shall we?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Drawn to Wonderland Playground.
And this is where
This is where I cringe.
Notice I paused. It's a playground.
It's a playground.
It's a playground with Mary Blair's influence.
Props to her, though.
yeah, I mean,
Mary Blair's great.
Yeah. I mean, I respect that.
This is how it's described. For younger guests, Drawn to Wonderland is a Mary Blair love letter. It has oversized flowers with musical instruments, a Mad Tea Party playset, and a Tugly Wood exploration that invites tactile discovery. It's an indoor space, air-conditioned and whimsical, that brings Blair's concept art off the page.
and so that's the concept area, I guess. So I guess maybe there you'll get a meet and greet with Alice or Mad Hatter or something.
I envision something like, what is it, like the Bug's Life playground.
Yeah,
You remember that? Or like even the Boneyard type of setup.
yeah, but
We're
not
using-
nearly as big.
No, not nearly as big, but maybe with, I don't know if they have the 5-legged goat or I don't know, or something like that. That'd be great though.
All right.
Well, I don't
I
know if
love
it would
it.
belong in Wonderland, but maybe
That's no leg, ma'am.
That's a good concept, what it is. And that's right.
According to all the fan sites or whatever Disney's description or their blog posts, it's supposed to be a whimsy, color blocking, bold shapes, essential in Blair's design language, translated to kid-scaled play with music, movement, and safe climbing.
And somewhere in there, hopefully, there's some kind of a lesson on Mary Blair and what she did.
Yeah.
Let's hope, I guess.
It's like a plaque behind a big flower.
I don't know, man. They say design-wise, Mary Blair's influence isn't just in the playground. You'll see color blocking and simplified forms inside the signage, the props, department set pieces. You'll get visual cues that echo hand-drawn origins, even with digital puppetry and projection for the whole entire spectacle. So I don't know. I think it'll be there. I don't know how well it'll be explained.
Gotcha.
So they'll be immersed in it, but it's like, I mean, not that you can ask Mary, how did you accomplish this? How did you arrive at this? Are there books there? I don't know even know if there are books like how she came up with that vision of how she styled things.
There was a book on Mary Blair, I want to say.
That's the part I think I would be curious.
Well,
of.
yeah, no, I don't know about that aspect of it. I haven't seen it,
Wow.
but I want to say that there is a book on Mary Blair and who she was as an artist and what she worked on. I don't know if they get that deep into it.
God, see that's a shame too. Talk to your elders, kids. You know,
They know stuff.
They're not gonna be around because you don't know. Because I mean, we talk about in the Disney fan universe how awesome Mary Blair and her unique her stuff is, but we never know how she arrived at said thing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I would love if there's somebody I could bring back. I would love to bring her back and just talk to her. As like, how did you get this concept for this look?
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Just like, where did that come from? Like, why did it come from? Or if there's a why, I don't know.
I knew who she is, but not depth of art style. She's
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you talk about these various artists, it's like, you know, it's all about decisions that are made.
yeah.
And it's like, how did you arrive at said decision as far as why you decided to do it like this? Why is this line like this versus not like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's those minutia. I don't want to say minutia, but it's those little details that make a difference.
It's a good word.
And then sometimes there's not an explanation for them. It's like, well, it just looked cool to me. Sometimes,
and that's perfectly fine.
That's absolutely fine.
I think that's great.
But sometimes there really is an explanation for something. And this is exactly why we went this road as opposed to going that road. And there's a reason we do a Disney podcast. It's because that we are interested in that minutia, and this is the kind of stuff that's always fascinated us every single time we go to the park. This is why when we leave from a park trip, we're not sitting there going, "Oh, it's so expensive. Oh my God, my legs are hurting. So much waiting in line." What we walk away from with is different.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the corner, it's like, you see a trash can with a chip paint. It's like, come on, do better. I mean, y'all know better than that.
Right.
I mean, yeah. It's Disney. It's whatever. But it's like that's what they're known for. It's it's those details.
The perfection. Yeah.
If you're drawing a piece of animation, that little detail matters.
Yes,
you can see it.
You can see it. But anyway, yeah. So that's the Mary Blair thing. That's pretty much all they got. It's going to be like a little playground. You know.
Okay.
And the second thing we got, there's a short film, living portraits kind of thing, which they call Once Upon a Studio.
Yeah.
And they say that Disney keeps teasing a short film with a twist. And those living portraits, both echoing Once Upon a Studio's conceit that the characters step out of the art into our world. The visitors to expect surprises embedded in the hallways, interactive walls, and moments that reward lingering, which rather than rushing, which is kind of cool. I appreciate that.
That is kind of cool. I mean, it makes it seem like you're going to be in a room at some point in time, and the different characters are going to interact with one another in kind of a way, interact with you in kind of a way, and so that's kind of cool because that was the charm of that Once Upon a Studio short, is seeing so many different characters of so many different persuasions interacting with one another that you would never see in a film. You would never. It was almost like what was that cartoon that they did, the House of Mouse or whatever, where they would have the club. There's the three little pigs at the table with, somebody like, I don't know, like Winnie the Pooh or something like that. It's like, or Who Framed Roger Rabbit? That's another one where you would see characters interacting you've never seen interact before. There's something fun and magical about that. And that's what that short brought forth. But to call that the magic of Disney animation, that's not the magic of Disney animation. That's Disney. That's the magic of Disney's characters. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't showcase, to me at least, it doesn't showcase the brilliance of the people who designed it. I mean, how can you not have something on Mark Davis, designing the look of Tinkerbell and designing the look of Maleficent? What made him go with those horns? What was that horn design all about? That kind of thing. I think those things matter. But
I agree.
Yeah. And regarding the tech with this whole particular piece, Disney Live Entertainment, which is a division, of course, in this whole thing in the parks, talked about motion capture, which we talked about earlier, augmenting stagecraft like in Mermaid. They talked about how they use that technology in the Mermaid attraction that just reopened, where they have digital imagery blending into physical sets. And they expect a similar seamless transition between real and digital in the animation building short film and portrait moments.
Okay.
So whatever technology and this is open right now, so people can go see this in the parks. Whatever technology that they're using in that particular show to transform from the digital elements to the real actors, this is the exact same thing that they're thinking that they're going to be using in this particular attraction, according to Disney Live Entertainment. So I figure that has to hold a lot of water as far as how they're going to pull this off.
Sure.
Yeah. So they call this edutainment powered by invisible tech. That's what it is.
Edutainment, visible tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that's scary.
So look, when does all this happen? Disney and multiple outlets peg late summer 2020, so August, late summer 2026 for the magic of Disney animation to open. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, the Studio Theater will remain active with The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure, which is already open, and a Disney Junior show across the way, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, which is slated for the soundstage across from Mermaid as part of the courtyard refresh. So that's the whole thing that's happening in 2026 with all that.
Okay.
Again, I have nothing against these meet and greets. I have nothing against play areas. I think it's great that Disney caters towards young kids, gives them something to do. But I mean, again, this is the magic of Disney animation. This is
The bread
this
and butter,
could
baby.
really be expanded to reach so many different people, and it
could be huge.
sounds like
Yeah.
it sounds like you're aiming for a much younger audience.
Well, you're playing it safe. That's what it comes off as to me. You're playing it safe, but it's like, you could. The sky would be the limit. Just taking the essential function of the storytelling and the lighting, all that stuff, and putting that to anything they got. Oh man, like who wouldn't be on that?
And so, look, as I do with most new things that is coming down the pipe in the parks, I'm going to ask this question. Is this enough for you to book a trip, or is this something you would prioritize if you already have a trip planned, or does this have zero interest for you?
It's something I think I would prioritize trying out.
Okay.
Just because I want to see what they do, but I have a feeling it's going to be one and done, and I'll be through there in minutes.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Not enough to hold you?
I don't think so. I mean, I would hope so. I mean, I'm not getting in line to take pictures with unless my kid wants that.
Exactly.
And she's at an age right now where it's like, no, that's not what I'm here for. My kid's 15 years old, and she's been like this for at least 2 to 3 years, where it's like, I'm not about taking the pictures. If I want pictures, book a character breakfast. You know, you've got more than enough of those. Or if you needed, what you call it, your young ones to meet somebody and really have a good interaction with them, you got that. And again, nothing against that. Maybe something against adults who participate in this, and instead of just going up there and taking that picture, is going to test the character's knowledge and try to stump the character. And I've seen that. It's disgusting.
Who drew you?
You're holding up the line. There are people over here, and you're trying to see if Jack Skellington knows where. I don't know. Whatever it is. I can't remember what it was. But anyway.
Shaquisha.
Yeah. Like your Jack Skellington, the one you saw, the one you talked with? I'm messing with you.
No, okay. No, literally, we were in the parking line, and we were waiting to meet Jack and Sally. And there was this goth woman up there. She's all dressed up, and she's, grilling the characters on.
Wow.
So where do you keep this? And how do you do that? And blah, blah, blah. And it's like, lady, come on, there's a line, like.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. No, she was going above and beyond, testing these people's ability to improvise.
That's like Jay and Silent Bob. It's like, how does the Hulk have sex?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like, come
Very
on,
careful.
dude.
Yeah. It's
Jeez.
a lot of lube. Probably.
Wow.
But yeah, I again got nothing against the whole meet and greet thing. It's just that I have a feeling that there's going to be little to do beyond that.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say I would take the second option. Like if I was already on a trip, this would be something I would go to see because it would be different. And so
and you wouldn't need a lighting lane.
It's
to do
inside.
It.
You shouldn't need a lighting.
I give him that right there off the bat. It's an inside attraction. So I mean,
helps.
That's that air condition. Need that. But I don't like Danny's point of view. Like my daughter's older. I don't know if my grandson maybe was into that and he was like, oh, I want to see that. But I mean, he wouldn't know who Barry Blair is and all that. So I wouldn't want to think of it as another place to just have, again, like nothing against people who want to talk to princesses and stuff like that, but they're already everywhere. I don't know why you just don't make something different with this new thing. So that's the one thing that doesn't make me prioritize it. Like the first thing I need to do going on a vacation. But yeah, while I'm there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, while I'm there, I would definitely check it out.
If I happen to be in the area, I'll definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I'm the second option as well. If I'd probably go get in there and just pop in and check it out, just whatever else, and see what they did with it out of sheer curiosity and for the show, just to talk about it. But if I didn't have the podcast and I was going down there anyway, I might be in between. It's like if I don't see it, I'm not going to cry about it.
No,
I understand that.
Seems like one of those things that when you see it online, you're going to get the general gist of it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to be
it.
missing anything if you didn't go see it yourself in person. Some sensation, whatever.
Exactly. Well, yeah, look, there it is, man. There's our thoughts on the announcement about the Magic of Disney Animation attraction coming to us next year. Looking forward to see how things pan out with this particular concept, see how it ties in that whole area together, since it's been pretty disjunct when you go through those archways.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how that goes. And look, let us know what your thoughts are about this new project. And get in touch with us, and we're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed our discussion about the magic of Disney animation. If you want to learn more about the Magic RA podcast, follow us on any social media platform. Also, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about, you can do so through the following ways. First of all, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or send us a text message. Yes, I did say text us at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-MOWEEKEND. 669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does great things with comics. What you got, sir?
Oh, yes. As always, Gabe, feel free to visit the Ivory Comics website. You can see all the work that I've drawn over the years, as well as a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat, never miss an episode, you never miss what inspires a group. So love getting the support when you visit Ivory Comics. On social media, Facebook, you can find me there. Eli H. Ivory, that's me. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're a bot, do not need to greet you. I don't want to hear about how you can fix my student loans by getting another loan from the Gold of Zamunda. I'm okay. Also on Facebook, there's a Project Geisha fan page, so take a look out for that. On Instagram, see what you guys and girls got there, posting up them hearts and likes. EIV504 is where you can find me there. And of course, on X, I can be found at Hancock10166. So yes, if you appreciate the madness, he's bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
You know what I was just wondering?
What's that?
What's
If
that?
we're getting the magic of Disney animation, how much longer till we get the tragedy of Disney live action remakes?
Oh God, that's a good point. Talking about the mistakes that we made.
Yeah, talk about we learn from failures. Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
I want to hear about that. Why did we pick that actress to do that? That would be good.
Why did we do it? Period.
Yeah. We didn't know what else to do. We just said, let's just throw somebody else in there.
Well, direct to DVD didn't really work.
Well, every time we walked in a room, there was a big word that said synergy on the board. So we just kept making more of it.
We thought you'd like it.
Synergy.
And add Avatar to that while you add it. Like, why are we still getting that?
Toy
man.
Story
Is there any
6,000.
listeners out there that are still excited about the third Avatar movie and can't
Fire
wait
and
and are just going to be there opening day to see it? Please write us. I'd love to read on the air
That's fair.
what it is that's got you all psyched up about this, because I still have not even seen the Journey of Water.
Oh, I haven't seen Journey. I saw Moana's Journey of Water.
I did.
Oh,
I,
yeah,
did
I
that
never
as well.
saw
Yes.
like
Is it the Journey of Water? Or is it something else?
It's something about the
Avatar?
Way of Water. I
The
don't
Way of
know.
Water?
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember we made a joke about the toilet or something. Yeah.
Avatar waterboarding. I don't know.
It's all one. This is my last 2 cents on this
Still
Avatar.
fluid.
Right? Why is it okay? Why isn't it the third one, the villain? Why can't she be red at least? Like they all still blue. It's like, come on, can we just change one color?
Well, maybe you're giving away the ending of it. We don't know. Maybe that's what happens.
Well, in the previews, they are.
Well,
Red.
that's what
Once
they
you
do.
embrace
Yeah, I've never seen
the
it.
Journey of Fire, or what is it called again? Fire Walk with Me. What is it? What is this?
It's a Chuck Norris movie.
Avatar. Oh, is it?
Firewalkers, yeah.
Okay.
Firewalkers?
I don't know.
Fire swallowers?
Yeah, fire up with barbecue. Yeah, that's it.
Fire my ass.
Fire.
I don't care what people say. Avatar Land or Pandora, whatever. That is still the weakest link in the animal kingdom. I'm sorry.
You are the weakest link. You are eliminated.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, that has nothing to do with any. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
No,
that was a
it's
good
all
point. That was a
Yeah.
good point.
And look, if you're planning to book a vacation later in 2026, Rachel can help you do that, especially if you want to go check out this magic of Disney animation.
I would be honored to help your family book your vacation to Disney destinations, Universal, cruise lines, and major hotel brands around the world. Booking with me is at no extra cost to you. The cost of a travel agent is built into the cost of your vacation, whether you use one or not. And when you book with me, a little bit of your trip comes back to support the podcast and the fan community here at Magic Our Way. You can reach me at Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com, or you can find me at R, the letter R, Family Magic, so Our Family Magic, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also give me a call or a text. My phone number is 978-432-WISH. Reach out today and let's make some magic with your family vacation.
In addition, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast. Another option that only costs a minute or so of your time is to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcast and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Quaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And you are. Bye!